Okay, so this morning, while I was surfing, I sustained a small ding to the nose of my board. I'm pretty sure it's still watertight, but because I like to be certain, I'm just going to fix it with a little bit of Solarez. So I thought I'd take you guys through the process of fixing very minor dings yourself. It's super simple and super fast, so I'll take you through the process. So the things you're going to need, you'll need some type of Solarez or Solar Cure or whatever, something that, I like to use something that sets in the sun, just because it makes it faster. So it usually comes with the little tube, a piece of sandpaper to rough it up. I find that the sandpaper is usually not enough. I like to make it rougher than the sandpaper will make it. So I'll normally use like a blade, or I might even try a screw, because some of you, maybe you don't have a blade at home or whatever. So a few important tips. You need to stay in the shade when you apply and prepare everything, and then move into the sun only when you're ready for it to cure. Do not do the process in the sun the entire time, otherwise you won't get through the process before it starts to harden, and then it's going to look ugly. So what we want is, I'm going to use my surf rack here that I made myself. If you want to know how I made the surf rack, it's super cheap and easy. I'll put a card somewhere here, link to the video, so that you can watch that. But otherwise, we're going to work on the top rail of the nose here. Let's get into it. So there's a little crack here, and then just a bit of a fracture down the rail here. So using the sandpaper that they gave me in the pack, the reason we want to rough it up is because it helps the resin to stick to the surface. So we don't want to make it super shiny and super smooth. We want it to be as rough as we can. Now, that's rough, but it's not rough enough for me. So you just use a little tool or an implement to scratch the tripe out of it around the area. So you'll notice that I'm not just doing it on the crack itself. I'm going to scratch up an area a bit larger, and we're going to apply Solarez to like the greater area. Another thing you can use is just a Stanley knife blade, and yeah, that worked a little bit better. That's quite good. Give it a bit of a wipe down to get rid of the dust. Now this step is not necessary, but I like to do it. I like to use a bit of clear plastic and cut it to approximately the size. Now I'm going to apply this over the top of the Solarez like that, because it gives me a nice flat surface, so there'll be less sanding to do after we're done. Now the UV rays need to be able to penetrate whatever you use, so it's best if it's clear. The Solarez is not going to stick to this. Initially it's going to stick to hold it on because it's wet, but then as it dries, it'll just peel straight off. Okay, so I have a paddle pop stick. We want to apply Solarez down along there. Now because we're in the shade, this is not going to dry straight away. Put the plastic on, make it smooth. And now we just bring it outside, place it in the sun for just a couple of minutes, and it's going to dry really quickly. So we've brought the board out into the sun. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. And then within a couple of minutes, that's going to dry. I can already feel that starting to harden. So you can't really tell from the video, but I'd be surprised if that took 3 minutes to set in the sun, because it's a really thin coat. It doesn't take long at all, and that's the reason why you can't apply the Solarez while you're in the sun. Because it will just start to set almost immediately. So we'll peel the plastic off and take a look at it, then sand it back and make it look nice. You'll see that the plastic does not stick at all. That is completely set. It does have like a little bit of an edge to it here, and so we just sand it back, make it smooth, and then we're done. And just like that, we're done. So this probably needs a bit more of a finer sand. But essentially I could leave it like that and would be absolutely perfect. I'm just a bit of a stickler, so I'm going to make it neater. But that's the process. So make sure you do it in the shade. Make sure you prep the surface adequately. I can't stress how important it is that you put the time into the preparation of the surface before you apply the Solarez. Do it in the shade, then cover it in plastic to give it a nice smooth surface so that you have to sand it less at the end. Take it out into the sun for just a couple of few minutes. Done. Peel it off, sand it back. She's ready for the water. It's that easy.